I'm Linda, and I'm with Jen today. We're both from Decor You, and we are going to show you how to set a beautiful table. So for starters, I always like to start with a beautiful chair. I happened to purchase these chairs for $40 and purchase some fabric. So with some paint and recovering, you can have a whole unique look. I chose to do, as you can see with this one, the base, the seat cushion, and the back are two different fabrics. That just kind of gives a little bit of uniqueness, but you can still do the same kind of fabric. The other thing I love to do is with my table, typically I like to start with a 42-inch if you're going to be seating four. It gives you enough room to seat four comfortably. So 42-inch table, and we've started the first layer with the tablecloth. I love white because white goes with everything and you can find it anywhere.
Yeah, and Linda, I love round tables because it just has a great mood when you put your settings together, and I think it's a really nice area to have a conversation, and I always go to gravitate towards round tables if we can. So white tablecloths are a great staple to have in your chest for when you're putting together a table. And we've already put together our beautiful arrangement here. I think it's really fun to do something different. This is grand and tall, and I think it makes a statement for the whole table. And we're using fresh lemons. That cost me a couple dollars, and some fresh bouquet that I put together, and a large tall vase. I think it really speaks to the whole table and looks wonderful.
You know, I really love the height of this, so I think that was a very good choice that you picked.
I think people are always scared to do something too tall or too big, but really you can still, if you need to remove it while you're eating, that's fine. But I think, you know, it speaks to this whole table, and it becomes our inspiration piece for everything else we're going to do for the table design. Let's start with a couple easy tips that most people can find in their homes or are very inexpensive to go and purchase. So let's start with our placemats. So with a round table, you'll want to do a round placemat or a round charger plate. And today we have these beautiful wicker textured placemats, and they really pop off the white table.
I love the adding texture to the table.
Yeah, that's really what makes the table interesting, is you don't want everything to be the same, and be a little brave. That's what makes everything really, you know, come to life on your table.
And I already feel like the table's coming to life just adding just that first simple layer. So what's our next layer?
Okay, next layer. We talk about staples that you should have in your kitchen. White plates are the best to have. So we take our white plates. They go with everything. They look great with any food. And I have to tell you, I'm a terrible cook, but I can make a table look grand and beautiful and make my food look much better than it probably really tastes.
I have to say I'm the same with you on the cooking part.
Yeah.
I have two siblings that are wonderful cooks, and somehow that gene skipped me.
Yeah, the pressure's on when I entertain, but I think people know you're going to have a beautiful table, but maybe the food's not great. Okay, next layer.
Should we do our pears?
Yeah, let's do those. So very inexpensive. You see that we have the fresh lemons in our vase here, and we've got fresh pears. Just adds a pop of color, whether you're having a dinner or a brunch. It doesn't really matter. It just adds a little texture again, color to the table, and some interest. It's something unexpected that your guests wouldn't, you know, plan on seeing.
Exactly. The next thing I think that's really important is cloth napkins. I love using cloth napkins. I grew up working in a kitchen store, and it was a big no-no to use any paper. So I love cloth napkins. And you know, a lot of people kind of struggle with the idea of how do I put them, how do I present them. I got a very simple way to do it. Square, point into the middle. Do that. You kind of just pull everything down. You can see where it wrinkled. And then very simply, you put the napkin ring on. So very quickly you can have a beautiful looking napkin. I also love the extra little thing. Jen is really great with this, and I'm stealing her little tip. These are peacock feathers, and you can stick so pretty a peacock feather in. And then another thing is we love name tags. I love to kind of pre-seat people.
Well,
it helps
smart.
with the conversation and making sure that, you know, sometimes it's great to put different people next to each other, or sometimes people who you know will get along to
I
keep
think
peace.
it's very thoughtful too that you've planned enough ahead that you've got their place settings for them.
So you can kind of just simply place it in and then place your napkin on your plate.
Okay, I have one more to do.
Okay,
I'm
so
terrible
do
with
I. I have
napkins.
one more. So once again, you have the napkin, you kind of go to the center, you pull the peak up, and then you slip your napkin ring on. And once again, the feather.
Again, it's all adding texture to the table, and very inexpensive, but it looks very elegant.
I have me sitting next to Lenore. Who are you sitting next to?
Victoria.
So the next thing that's really important is silverware. Obviously, you need your silverware. There are many ways to put it on, but we're going to kind of go through the formal way, and I actually have a little story. One of my uncles, as a child, was always trying to help us to set the table correctly.
Yeah, it's really something everyone should learn how to do. It's very easy and it doesn't need to be too intimidating.
So the first thing is your fork goes on the left. And I know that most people know that your spoon and your knife go here, but people often put the knife the wrong way. So how my uncle told us is that the blade part of the knife faces the fork because it's protecting the spoon, who the spoon and the fork cannot get along with each other.
Okay, I don't know if I remember that, but I will try. So sharp point in and spoon next to that.
Exactly.
Okay, next tip would be wine. It's too bad we're not popping this open right now, but it's great to have it displayed on the table. You can let it breathe or air out if it's a red, but we have a white today. So we've just added a little napkin around it to make it look a little more elegant. And then glasses.
And I always love using, these are more like goblets because you can use them for wine as well as water, because not everybody may want to drink wine at the table. I know I would, but you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea or cup of wine. So
and always remember to carry your goblets from the base and from the stem so that you're not breaking them or running them to the table when you're setting.
And they do go on the side that the knife and the spoon are on.
Yeah.
For proper etiquette.
This is a real simple table, but still looking very elegant. Okay, our next tip is candles. It's always nice, whether it's day or night, to have a little ambiance with your setting. And we're going to place them just here next to our plate. So people always think that you have to do everything in the center, but it's really about layering and grouping things together and really adding some interest to the entire table. My next favorite tip, easy, cheap spice jars. So I save these, or you can buy them at, the dollar store, actually.
Exactly.
And these become great vases. And so what we're going to do is, I bought some simple roses here. We're going to cut these down. And people are always nervous to do this. I don't know why. They'll buy a beautiful bouquet and they'll keep all the stems the same height. But we wanted a couple different layers on our table. So I'm just going to cut these stems for you. And you're going to put those in your spice jars. And everybody gets a beautiful rose at their place setting. There you go. Again, pops of color, real easy, inexpensive to do, and just really thoughtful, I think, for your guests. You got all of them?
And the last is the salt and pepper. And I actually didn't know this, but Jen taught me this, that the salt always should be on
the
right side as you face the table. So you can put your salt and pepper. And sometimes with a setting like this, you can even do 2 salt and pepper, so each person can actually have a set without having to reach or ask.
Yeah. So here we have a beautiful place setting, real easy to do, very inexpensive, and you can see all the interest in the colors and the layers and the texture, real fun. And again, now comes the food and a great party with your family and your friends.
So if you need any further design tips or need our help, go to decoryouhr.com.
We'd love to hear from you.